So I have muted everybody. Harprasad, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Two questions. One is why we say Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi in Purnamadam and Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi in Sahanavavatu.
Yeah, so the answer to that is pretty simple. I don't know. So it comes in the Vedas like that. So if you look at Sahana, Vavatu, etc. So there is swara. There is swara in all these things. Okay. So the Veda Vakyas have swara in them. Swara means intonation.
Right.
And so just 3 intonations are there. It's not like music where there is saptaswara. Here it is only triswara. And so Shanti just happens to be like that. Only the Purnamada happens to be like that. So we can ask somebody who studied the Vedas very well, maybe a Chaturvedi or a Dvivedi or a Trivedi or a somebody like that, and see if they are able to answer this. Most likely the answer is that it is how it appears in the Vedas. But I can check and let you know.
Okay. And next question is the Shraddha, some books translate it as trust pending verification. I've got a hard time understanding it because when you have Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha, it is the Vishwasa, it is the trust, it is not pending verification.
Yeah, good question. See, 2 things. Yes, trust is needed. Without trust, the study is impossible, no doubt. I think we appreciate that. And see, you can't have trust unless there is something you are getting out of it. Okay, unless you value it. Okay, I have trust when I say there is a value in the person, there is a value in what the person says, there is a value in having the person around me, there is a value in this grantha, in this book, in this series of books. There is value in the messages it is giving me. Yeah, so therefore I have trust. Now, Vedanta is a little different. Why it is a little different? Vedanta doesn't promise anything. Every other thing, there is a promise that is held out. A promise of going to heaven is held out by somebody. And that promise, whether it is true or not, whether it will turn out to be true or not, nobody can say. There is nobody around who can come to us and say, yes, I have visited Vaikuntha, it's a great place, please go. That's the place to be. Nobody is there to say that. So there, that trust that I have in the Shastram, in the Bhagavatam, or in any Vishnu Puranam that talks about Vaikuntha, I have trust, no doubt. But there, that Shraddha is not pending verification. Because it's impossible to verify. But here Vedanta is different. Because this Jivan Mukti is what? This Jivan Mukti is not after death. Remember, Jivan Mukti is Jivan Mukti. While alive, Mukti. This moksha is while alive, moksha. Not after death. Not after going somewhere, moksha. So therefore, that verification word is mentioned. I don't say anything wrong with that. It doesn't reduce the value of Shraddha. But it highlights the message of Vedanta, in my opinion. That's the way to look at it. Pending verification means I am getting something which I can validate. Like my eyes will validate the minute it sees something. Show me, somebody says. Show me. What do you mean? Show me means what? I am ready. I trust you. Demonstrate it to me. So, pending validation, pending verification. That's the way to look at it. Okay. So we can say a lot more on this, but let's see. Haraprasad, is that reasonable?
I will mull over it.
Yeah. Go ahead and mull over it and state your concern. Find out what exactly your concern is, and then let's see if we can address that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Prasad, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. The first one is not a question really, just reviewing from the perspective of Dharma. So other day I was listening to the radio about the recent tsunami in Indonesia, wherein the reporter said one man was running after seeing the flood of waters so high, so much feet. And he was running and he knew that he has his father in the home, but he was running away. You know that he can't make it. So I was just thinking another analogy of that, like if there's one person in the medical ward where 5 other people are there who needs, let's say, 1 organ of each. And this one man can give all the organs to 5 people where his organs are in good shape. Of course, he had got a different problem, but so this is from the Dharma point of view, how to review this. So what he was doing running, even though he knew that his father is there, is he doing so that, I mean, not so that I call it Dharma, from the Purushartha's point of view. Is that correct, Dharma?
Yeah, so he is running away from the home.
From water, yeah. Because tsunami, I'm talking about tsunami.
From water and towards the father or away from the father?
Oh, no. He's just running for his life. And you know that father is there who is old and he can't, you cannot take him at the same time survive himself.
Correct. Yeah, so this is a Dharma Sankata. Dharma Sankata, see, imagine the situation that we are faced with. That only so many people can be saved at any given time, or nobody may be able to be saved. Just run, do whatever you can and protect yourself. So at that moment, that person is forced to make that decision, and whatever comes happens. And so, yeah, sometimes, so in this particular case, perhaps, Dharma, maybe that is the right thing. What everybody does is the right thing at that moment. And so after tsunami, some people go and steal all the shops and all that. That is not Dharma, we know that. And so it is Dharma is, we say Dharma is to be interpreted. Interpreted based on the time, based on the person who is involved, based on the context, based on so many factors. Whatever you decide is the right thing, or whatever right must be done, I must do. That is what Dharma is. So the same situation, different person, it may not apply. And so that is Dharma. But yeah, I think These are all tough situations and very difficult, very tough, where one has to, fire is there. The fire is engulfing the house. There are now two options left. This guy knows, if I don't act quickly, everybody is going to die. I mean, if I try to protect all the things, the people and all these precious things I have in my life, everybody is going to perish. Even I will perish. If I let go of a few things, then there is a chance that one or two of us can survive. So in a split second, he has to decide what. And tough, very tough. So after that, suppose he survives also and some members pass away, then he has to live with this situation. Very difficult, very difficult. So yeah, these are tough questions. And so that's why we pray that either we don't have these situations, or this is why we chant Gayatri. Give me the ability to make decisions properly and appropriately. Very important. So hopefully we have all that, or we can gain all that during our life. Go ahead, Prasad.
Yeah, so this is a general question, not really related to today's class, which should have been asked earlier. So Tattvabodha is the meaning of Brahman, right? Why do we say that Tattvabodha? I mean, if I take a literal meaning from Sanskrit, Vastu doesn't really cover the whole existence, right? So Sat reality, Vastu, is Brahman. So why do we say Tattvabodha is Brahman?
Sat means Trikalepi Abhaditam. So Trikalepi means in all periods of time, past, present and future, it always is. It cannot be negated. That is the actual meaning of the word Sat. Okay. So our idea of existence, our idea of reality is what? If I ask you, is this book real or what? Of course it is real. Is this telephone real or what? Of course it is real. Is this body real or what? Yeah, of course it is real. But I can't use that word real for Brahman. Because if I say Brahman is real, then hey, this book is real, you said, already used the word real. But really speaking, this book is perishable. A real thing is perishing. So then Brahman is real. But Brahman stays for a long time and it will perish. That's what will happen. So the Sad word is used it is defined as Trikalepi Abhaditam. It is not anything that is not negated in all three periods of time. Whatever the idea of past is, however far it goes and goes and goes and goes. It never ends. That past, the present and the future, however long it is going to go, we don't know. That long that the mind cannot perceive. That Vastu which is not negated during these three periods of time is called Sat. And that applies only to Brahman. Okay, so therefore Sat is a very special word. And we will talk shortly, we will come to the topic of Satyam and Mithya. Very important topic in Vedanta. And so, because when we use the word, another problem we have, eternal, when we use the word, Atma is eternal if we say, we have a problem because we don't know anything that is eternal. Okay, we don't know anything that is eternal, correct? So, everything we know is within this realm of time, within this axis of time only. Everything is born, it stays for a while, it changes, and then it perishes. So there is no example to give for Brahma. And so we can't even say eternal and go away. Hey, explaining, unfolding the meaning of the word eternal is the subject challenge of Vedanta. Look at this. Unfolding the meaning of the word eternal is the topic of Vedanta. That's why a teacher can't simply say, oh, you are eternal, you are bliss, and walk away. That is not teaching, because the word eternal is not understood. It is just another word in the English. Not understood. Therefore, we need this word Satyam. We need the word Jnanam. We need the word Anantam. We need to understand these things. And that's why these are introduced in the Shastram, Prasad.
And I have last question. Sama, so which is Mano Nigraha. So it's from Vedantic perspective, it seems it is not equal to what we say in Yoga Shastra, like Chitta Vritti Nirodha, right? That's what I understand. So if so, then it is not like shutting down the mind. So is it something transcending the asat, I would say? So is it from the Vedantic perspective, Sama is equal to no mind which can be described in Vedantic perspective as something which is transcending asat, or which is not same as what has been described in just shutting down the mind.
Yeah, so explain a little more about Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is the meaning of that?
So basically, whatever emotions or whatever coming up, I'm trying to control the mind rather than, I would say, observing the thoughts, let them come. Okay, I'm observing those thoughts, emotions. Whereas in other case, I'm trying to control, which means that I'm trying to shut them down.
Okay. Good question. So that is Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Chitta Vritti Nirodha is there. I think it's one of the, is it maybe not the first sutra, but one of the first few sutras. So yeah, so there the emphasis is on a state of mind that has no thoughts. That has no thoughts whatsoever. And yeah, it is possible. It is possible with some practice and with some mastery to get to that state. But if you carefully think about it, Prasad, I will ask you, a person who has that Chitta Vritti Nirodha, shutting down of all thoughts, mind free of thoughts, should the person remain like that throughout, or can the person come back with thoughts? That is the question. First question to Prasad. Okay. So what is the expectation of the Yoga Sutras here?
He'll come back.
Come back. Okay. So coming back is okay, according to you, according to Yoga Shastra. So you just have to go into this state where there are no thoughts and then come back. Correct? Okay. Then is there a mention of how much time you must be in this state? Or how often you must be in this state? Etc. Is there talk like that? So these questions come, Prasad, which is, first of all, if one goes into that state, then if I come out of the state, then what do you call that? Is that considered an accomplishment or a partial accomplishment? So leave that aside. So that is important, because if I have to empty my mind of my thoughts, if that is my goal, then what about the time when I have thoughts? Does it mean I have failed? Does it mean I must work harder and get a mind that is always free of thoughts or not? These kinds of questions will arise. Our answer is pretty simple to that. No human mind, even if they attain this state, can accomplish this state of having a mind which is free of thoughts, can always be free of thoughts. Even Patanjali Maharaj, when he wrote this sutra, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, he had thoughts in his mind. Without having those thoughts, he could not have said this. He had those thoughts in mind in order to say the sutra. So very obvious to me at least, that even the yogi has thoughts. And at the same time, the yogi can say, no, now I am going to calm myself down. I am going to shut myself off. So that, in my opinion, is mastery. And so there, the mind, I use it to my benefit now. I use it to say, this person is able to have a say over his mind. Because whenever I want the mind to be free of thoughts, I can make the mind free of thoughts. Whenever I want the mind to be available to study the Patanjali Sutras, the mind is able to study Patanjali Sutras. Because without having thoughts in the mind, I can't even hear the word Chitta Vritti Nirodha. I can't even hear. So therefore, that is the way we interpret that. And here, of course, Shama is a preparation. Is a preparation for the study of Vedanta. So here we are talking about a mind that is more or less resolved. A mind that is more or less calm. A more or less unperturbed. We don't say you must have a perfect mind. You must never get angry. You must never be like this. These kinds of statements we don't make. Because that is not needed. That may not be possible also. And as long as I can recognize that I have anger, as long as I can recognize that I have an emotion, I allow myself the freedom for that emotion to pass, then fantastic. That's a mastery of the mind. And that is what is being mentioned. That's what Swamiji talks about for Shama. And that is sufficient also, because here there is something to be understood. And that mind, Yajnavalkya is talking with Gargi or Maitreyi or Katyayani, having a dialogue with Gargi. A lot of thoughts going on in the mind. Lot of thoughts. And these people are talking such language, such Vedanta. You look at Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you go, my goodness, Gargi, you don't know whether Gargi is greater or Yajnavalkya is greater. Finally, Gargi says, I thought I could overpower Yajnavalkya. This guy is too much. He is the winner. Let us declare Yajnavalkya to be the winner, she says. Both minds are great minds. Gargi's mind is great. Yajnavalkya's mind is great. And so, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, yeah, sure, I think so. I think they were capable. They could sit in a place or stand wherever, and if they want to not think of anything, I think they could achieve that. That's my view, Prasad.
Thank you.
Okay. There are no more questions. We can stop now.
One small question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In Bhagavad Gita, there is a saying that Swadharma Nidhanam Shreya Paradharma Bhayavaha. So when you have said about Uparama, Swadharma, and how does it relate to Bhagavad Gita Swadharma?
Yeah, so Bhagavad Gita Swadharma that they talk about is also the same thing, in the sense there the Dharma Krishna is literally talking about Dharma, referring to Arjuna's Dharma, Arjuna's duty.
Yeah.
And so Swadharme Nidanam Shreya, hey, even dying when you are doing your duty is okay, is better than not doing your duty and living for a long time. This is a bold statement Krishna makes. So just to convince Arjuna that don't worry about death and all these things. Your duty is very important. So yeah, there perhaps we can say, but there just an emphasis on Swadharma is there. So I mean, I don't see any difference between the Swadharma here and Swadharma there. Both are identical because Dharma is so broad and it can apply every moment of our lives in every context. And even in the context of tsunami, it applies. And everywhere it applies. And it applies so much that nobody can say, I am a very dharmic person also. See, that also is there. Dharma is constantly challenging me. Correct? Nobody can say, I took care of my children. This is the best way. And nobody, I can't be better than this. Can't say that. Nobody can say, I always spoke the truth. If I say I always spoke the truth, that is another lie I am saying.
Yes.
I added one more lie to the list of lies I have said. So there is so much room to improve. And so Dharma is such a great thing. And I think, therefore, I think there's no need to differentiate these two.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So it's already 7:40, 7:36 now. So we'll stop now. And we'll meet again next week.